You know how you get into those weird internet rabbit holes late at night? When the house is silent and it feels like you're the only person awake in the world? That's how this started for me. I wasn't looking for anything, really, just clicking from one link to another until I landed on a page about a poem from 1919 called Tomino's Hell. The legend was pure creepypasta fuel. It said you should only ever read the poem in your mind. If you dared to speak the words out loud, a terrible fate would befall you. I just kind of laughed. It's like Bloody Mary, you know? Words on a screen, how much harm could they do? My apartment was dead quiet. The only sound was the low hum of my fridge and the clicking of my mouse. Outside, the wind was picking up, rattling the old window frame. I found a translation and started scrolling. The imagery was unsettling. It was about this kid, Tomino, on this hopeless journey. Even the opening lines were bizarre. Still, I was a skeptic. It's just a story, I told myself. A ghost story for the digital age. So I did it. I don't even know why. Maybe to prove how silly it all was. I cleared my throat, the sound feeling way too loud in the silent room, and I started to read, out loud. Elder sister vomits blood. Younger sister's breathing fire. While sweet little Tomino just spits up the jewels. I kept going, as my voice filled the small space. Is Tomino's big sister the one who whips him? The purpose of the scourging hangs dark in his mind, lashing and thrashing him, but never quite shattering. It was right after that line, never quite shattering, that it happened. A sudden, sharp pain shot through my head, right behind my eyes, making me stop. It felt like a punishment, just like the poem said, and the purpose hung dark in my mind too. At the same time, this wave of intense nausea just washed over me. I had to grip the side of my desk because the room felt like it was tilting. It only lasted a few seconds, but it left me breathless. I shook it off. It's late and I'm tired. It's just a coincidence. But a deep unease settled in my stomach. The shadows in the corners of my room seemed deeper. The apartment didn't feel empty anymore. It felt like a hell of utter darkness, without even flowers. I quickly closed the laptop, but the words were still ringing in my ears. The next day was worse. I felt completely isolated, like I was on a solitary journey of my own. I kept feeling this strange pressure on my chest. I was clumsy, spilling my coffee, dropping my keys, nearly tripping down the stairs. Each little thing felt like a warning. The poem described them as hellish signposts, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was seeing them everywhere. That night, I had to know more. I started digging, and what I found made my blood run cold. This wasn't just some anonymous story. The poem was real, written by Saijo Yaso, and the legends were attached to real events. A filmmaker, Terayama Shuji, died young after making a movie inspired by it. An author named Yomota Inuhiko warned that a terrible fate awaited anyone who read it aloud. This felt different. It had names and dates, and I had invited it into my home. That's when I heard it. It was almost 3 a.m. I was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. And then from the darkest corner of my bedroom, I heard a whisper. It was faint, a child's voice, and it was reciting the poem. I couldn't move, completely frozen. The voice wasn't angry. It was a quiet, sad little voice, continuing the journey I had started, and as suddenly as it started, it stopped. It's been a month. I haven't heard the voice again, My life hasn't completely fallen apart, but that feeling, that cold, heavy dread, it never went away. Sometimes I'll get a sharp headache or a sudden crippling wave of sadness, and I'm right back in that hell of utter darkness. I found out the original poet, Saijo Yaso, read it aloud many times, and lived a long life. What happened to me? Was it all in my head? Or am I just one of the lucky ones, left with nothing but an echo? I don't know. All I know is one line from the poem has become my new reality. The solitary journey of sweet little Tomino.